Well, good evening, Riverside. Here we are again. Decided to come out and do our devotional from the educational building. I'm in one of the children's classrooms. And again, there's nobody here. But we hope everybody is doing well, faring well under the circumstances that we find ourselves in. And just a reminder, if anybody needs anything, please feel free to call the church office, speak to the staff, speak to any of the elders or the deacons, and we will do our best to make sure that everybody has the things that they need. But we want to make sure that everybody stays safe and healthy. Like many of you, over the past few days, I've spent some time on Facebook just watching and listening to people sharing their experiences in dealing with all of this. Seems like there's been a feeding frenzy of videos. Everybody and their dog, literally, has been making videos, and it's been interesting to watch and listen to people talk about what they're going through. One of the groups that I follow on Facebook is called Pounds Off the Pulpit. Kind of a play on a phrase there. Instead of pound on the pulpit, it's pounds off the pulpit. It was started by a preacher friend of mine last year, and mainly for people who are in ministry and who are struggling with weight issues. And so this has become sort of a support group and an encouragement group for people who are struggling with their weight. And so they'll share not only how much they weigh, but how much they've lost, or unfortunately how much they've gained. And they'll share the particular diet that they're on, or some strategy that they think is going to be helpful. And of course they offer encouragement to each other to stay at it and to not get discouraged. And so it's just been good to read their comments and to see the encouragement that's flowing back and forth from all of these people. But one of the things that comes across that page frequently is this thing called intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting. And it's really quite simple. It is just as what the title describes. It is intermittently or periodically missing a meal, skipping a meal, or maybe a few meals. And the thinking being that it's not so much what you eat that causes the weight gain, but it's the amount that you eat. And so intermittent fasting just helps you to decrease the amount, and the thinking is that's going to help you decrease some weight. And it's been encouraging to see some people have some success with that. But it's the idea of fasting that has really kind of captured my attention, especially over the last few days as we think about what we're going through right now. Because in a sense, you could kind of describe what we're going through as sort of a fasting from fellowship. You know, we're not able to meet with our brothers and sisters in Christ like we normally would. We've cut that out. We're skipping that. And so as I thought about this intermittent fasting, I thought, well, that's kind of what we're doing now with our fellowship together. And I don't think we're enjoying this. It's almost like a person who really loves pizza, but they decide they're not going to eat pizza anymore. And so they start to go through, the periods of withdrawal, and they have these periodic cravings for pizza because they love it so much, but they're not able to get any because they've done away with that. And so I kind of think that's similar to what we're experiencing right now with our fellowship, that we're in this period of they're calling it social distancing, but it's really a self-imposed isolation. And if you think about it, that what's happening today runs so counter to so much that is a part of being a Christian. Because there is so much involved with being a Christian that involves relationships. And now all of a sudden, we're not enjoying the benefit of those relationships. We've kind of been forced, not really forced, but strongly encouraged to stay away from people. And that is so counter to everything that is a part of being a Christian. Because what are we to do as Christians? Well, what's the great commission that Jesus gave us? He says, go out into all the world. We're to go out into our communities. Well, we can't do that right now. And you think about all the passages in the Scriptures that deal with our relationships. We're to bear one another's burdens. We're to show honor to one another. We're to serve one another. We're to love each other. We're to love our neighbor. We're even to love our enemies. There's a relationship even there. We're to welcome each other. We are to live in harmony with each other. We're to build each other up. We're to stir one another to love and good works. We are to serve one another. All of these relationship principles have just kind of got set aside. And I think we're going through this period, and it feels so strange, and it feels so awkward. It's almost as if we have lost part of ourselves, because part of our identity as a follower of Jesus is being involved with all these other people who are going through similar challenges and similar struggles, and we're sharing all of that together, and now all of a sudden that's been taken away from us. And we don't like it. And we're struggling because of it. And somebody's going to say, well, but we still, we're still connected. We have videos, and there's this online presence with Facebook and email and Twitter and whatever else is out there. We're still connected. And I guess that's true. We're connected electronically. But how's that working for you? I mean, you can see me, you can hear me, but it's not the same, is it? It's just not the same. It's not the same as being in the same room with somebody and sitting next to somebody. It's not the same as being able to shake their hand or exchange a hug or put an arm around somebody. It's not the same. And we miss that, don't we? And what I want to say to you is this. The fact that you miss it, the fact that it feels strange, the fact that it feels awkward, that it feels like you have lost part of yourself, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Because what that means is you get it. You understand what Jesus was trying to build. You understand what Jesus was trying to bring together, this community of believers. It means you understand that there is a real need for us to be together. that neglecting the assembly is not just a verse out of the book of Hebrews, but it is a legitimate need, that we need each other. And so, just like with that intermittent fasting, what we're feeling right now is hungry. You know, we're skipping these meals of being together and sharing, and we're missing that, and we're hungry. And what I want you to do is, I want you to increase that hunger. I want you to get hungrier, so that when the time comes when this self-isolation is finally over and we can finally come back together as brothers and sisters in Christ, what a sweet reunion that's going to be. It's going to be a time to celebrate. So we look forward to that time. And until then, may God give you peace on your night.